everyone. Welcome, whoever is here. Those that came earlier or left. Welcome, Hats on a Mission. Welcome. I'm a minute or two late, but that's okay. We're here. I had to go get my water bottle. So, and I made I don't know what you call it. I took a little bit of cabbage, a carrot, squash, without the peeling, and without the seeds, because I can't have those. I pureed it all together, and then I added about 3 spoonfuls of flour and an egg, and I pureed it all together. Then I put it in my pan and I fried it. I wanted more like a fritter, like a fried fritter, or instead of fried on the stove, fried and put it in the oven. Well, it came out a little soupy, but it's cooked and it's done. So you got chocolate, but that's what I'm going to eat. Well, it's part of my dinner. The rest of my dinner is still cooking. I put on a beef roast in an oven. I put it on with beef broth, the roast, salt and pepper, garlic and ginger, can of mushroom soup, half of a package of the au jus sauce, a whole package of the gravy mix, and the broth. And it's not done enough for me to eat. I don't like I like the falling apart kind of roast. So is this Jeremy Hats on a Mission or somebody else? I can't tell by the picture. So well, my friend Michael Ann's here. Yeah, hi Jeremy. I'm bringing my friend Michael Ann up. You're not late. You're right on time because I was 2 minutes late.
That's okay. I was trying to get set up on my phone. Hopefully, I'm plugged in because my phone was down to like 19%.
Right.
And I'm cooking dinner, so.
That sounds like a good thing to watch someone cook dinner. I would have cooked in front of you, but it takes about 2 hours, 3, to get a good tender falling apart roast. So I turned it back on for another 20 minutes or so. That would give it a little over almost 2.5 hours. So while I'm talking, I'm just going, when the toaster oven air fryer goes off, I'm just going to turn it out, leave it while we're talking, and hopefully it'll be done enough. If not, I'll cook it a little more. But I wanted to make I saw someone do it, but I didn't do it right. You take your mixed vegetables, grate it up or pureed, add your flour, and make little fritters. You fry them. Well, I put it in the oven. It came out more like a pudding. Like not a sweet pudding, just so, but it's good. It's got squash, a zucchini squash, a carrot, and some cabbage. So I'm gonna eat that.
I made my mom's spaghetti sauce recipe from scratch, so that's been simmering all afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I just got the water boiling for spaghetti, so I'm going to cook that, and then that'll be ready.
Spaghetti sounds good.
Well, I had what we call it a pork hock, or a ham hock, in the freezer, and it was like, what am I going to make? So I was like, okay. I went down to the grocery store and got some more ground beef, and I got some cans of tomatoes and tomato paste and some mushrooms. So I came home and thawed out the pork hock and got it all cooking and simmering, and tasted it a few times, added a few more spices.
So that's you making spaghetti with pork?
It's got a pork hock in it, and it's got ground beef. You can put ground pork in it too, but it was actually my grandmother's neighbor's recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she was an Italian lady, so I don't know if it's got changed through the years before when my mom got the recipe, but tastes pretty good to me.
Sounds
Better
interesting.
better than opening a bunch of cans all the time.
Mm-hmm. Sounds very interesting.
I wonder if anybody used up the can of spaghetti sauce that was in here.
Oh no.
No.
I got up this morning and watched our friend Darian do his morning show every day at 11 o'clock. And I sat here and got on my Minecraft, and then somehow or another somebody came to my place and took all my villagers. And so
Oh no.
I know they put them back. I have two sets of villagers. One in my farm, and my farm villagers were gone. My zombie was gone. If you know anything about Minecraft, it was gone. And I didn't get any iron overnight from the drops. So I still got to get that straightened out. And then I remembered I had a chiropractor's appointment at 2:00. So I went and did that. And then I went to the store. I said, I don't want to go to the big grocery store. Let me go to the closest grocery store, which is a Mexican grocery store. I just want to pick up eggs. And she showed me where they were, and she said, I'll get them for you. And I said, okay. And she's talking in Spanish and English, and she said, they're $8.99. I said, I'm not paying $8.99 for eggs. Thank you anyway. I said, gracias, and I left.
I wouldn't be either.
So I decided I'll just drive. I didn't have my phone with me. I left it at the house. I said, if it's important, it'll have to wait. If someone's dying in my family, it'll have to wait because I can't get there anyway. Nothing, I just ain't it. Get out, Candy.
It's important to leave a message or they'll call back.
Yep. So I said, I'll just go on to Kroger because if I went to Aldi's, I could have went to Aldi's, but let me go to Kroger. Kroger's eggs were $5.99. Didn't want to pay that, but Friday on my 6:00 Friday, I'm gonna figure out how to make that cheesecake from Germany.
Right.
And I bought a thing of I love chocolate covered graham crackers. Got them in Helen, and they were not great. So I forgot that Keebler made them, and Keebler's having a promotion right now on their new cookie called Butterbeer. Butterbeer from our Universal Studios and Harry Potter. Yep. But they had the chocolate covered ones, and I said, well, I need a graham cracker crust. I said, I've got a few cookies at home that are chocolate just cookies. I'm going to take those chocolate wafer, they're chocolate covered German cookies, and a couple of these, blend them together and with a little butter and make my pie crust for the cheesecake. But I got to figure out the cheesecake. Hey, Danny. So, and Jeremy's here. Hey, Jeremy. But I got to figure out how to do that cheesecake. If anyone knows German more than Darian, I need the understanding of it because it said 6. It said so many eggs. I think it was 2 eggs, but it was 2 egg whites, and then it was 2 egg yolks. So I didn't understand. So I got to find it again. Probably on my computer better than my phone.
I'm trying to remember if I'm not mistaken.
If what?
I thought there was something on Google Translate where you can take a picture of whatever language it is and change how it changed to English.
Yeah, I did
I
that.
think I've done it once.
Yeah, I did that, but it didn't. I didn't understand. Still, when it translated, it didn't really tell me what to do with the eggs. So I may need to type in the name of it on my Google and see how to, ask Google, how do you make this? And write whatever it is in the German words and see what they tell me.
Isn't it Dr. Oetker? The brand?
Huh?
The brand of the stuff you got.
Doctor somebody.
Dr. Oetker. Oetker?
Maybe.
They may have a American branch that might be able to
Yeah,
translate from there.
they might. But I finally broke down and bought hot chocolate today because I was in Kroger. And I don't like the Swiss Miss. It's too plain, generic, too. And I'm looking at this, and it said double Dutch hot chocolate. I look on the back, and it says made in Canada. I said, I'm taking it home. Not because my friends are in Canada, because sometimes the brand of stuff from other countries are better than what you get here. So I took it home.
We have a little different regulations when it comes to food, too.
Yeah, they do. A lot of countries do, and I wish the U.S. would get better with their regulations.
Like whatever may be FDA approved there might not pass Health Canada standards.
Nope, it probably wouldn't. Because I was watching
artificial flavorings and artificial colorings. A lot of that stuff's not allowed here.
Yeah, today I was watching the girl from England who just got back from America about a month ago, and she was she loves to go to Target. I don't know why foreigners love our Target. Our Target, yes, some Targets are better than Walmart because the prices are higher at Target, but the quality sometimes is better. But she likes M&Ms, and she likes this one, whatever. She bought one bag instead of buying 4 or 5 bags. I said, M&Ms made in the U.S. to me are not great. I'll eat them if that's the only thing you've got at your party. I'll pick up a handful and eat them. But I'd rather have the foreign chocolates. And so, but she said they don't get those flavors over in her country. But I said, yeah, but I bet the M&Ms made in your country are better than the M&Ms made in the U.S. I don't know. So, yeah. So you're Central Time, Rudy. Yeah. So, but went to the chiropractor, and I'll go back again on Monday because she's out of town. Her friend's coming in from out of town, and they're going to see another friend in Alabama, so she's not working Friday. But it stinks that my insurance, that she doesn't take insurance anymore. I have to pay. So I have to pay.
Chiropractic is only if you got private insurance.
Yeah. They used to take Medicare, Medicaid, the kind of thing, and now they don't because Medicare wasn't paying anything.
Well, even the last time my kids went, that's years ago, we still had to pay $25 over and above what their dad's insurance paid.
Right. Well, this was $40 a visit, and I went on Monday and I went on Wednesday. And when I went on, used to go, I hadn't been there since 2023. Knock on wood that I don't need a chiropractor every year. But she says I should come at least 4 times a year, just to line your back and get it straight. But I don't. But when I went last time, my copay was only $20, and now I'm having to pay $40. So I called another chiropractor that's a friend of mine. both of these ladies I went to church with both of them, same church, and they're both chiropractors. And they're both within a couple of years of the same age of each other, but one wanted $45 and one wanted 40. I went to the one I've been going to because it's about 4 or 5 miles from the house, and it's only $40. I said, I'm not driving the other side of town for $45.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna mute
Right.
these guys. No, dinner's ready.
Yeah. So I stay closer to home these days. Costs me too much in gas. So, but I think Michael Lynn said she was cooking a spaghetti, but her spaghetti has pork in it and beef. So that's what she's cooking, I think she said. But I've got a roast beef cooking, and it will be done hopefully when I get off the line. If not, I'll keep cooking it. So I bought this beef roast last week, and I forgot it was marked down. And I said, if I don't cook it today, I probably have to throw it in the trash because it was already out of date, but it still smelled good. So I'm cooking in it. But if I get it cooked and it's not great, I wasted my $8. So I should have went to Aldi's anyway today, but I didn't. I didn't even check their sale paper because Wednesday, if in the US, most of the sales start over on Wednesday. They used to start over on Sundays, but it made a big problem in the grocery stores because you would go in there and there would be lines and lines and lines of people. Only because Sunday is the day most families who have children who's got to get, if they don't eat at school, buy their lunches stuff for school that, and so it got to where they changed over in the US to a Wednesday to Wednesday sale because still people are going to go on Sunday, and a lot of Saturday nights it's restock for the beginning of the week. So, and I didn't know this, but sometimes if you go there, like your sale starts on Wednesday, and you get there around 11:30, they're going to have the Wednesday sale already started. You may be there on Tuesday night at 11:30, but because it's already in the computer, they have to get it in the computer in time. I didn't really know that either. So I still got the old sale, but it's got the new already list. Someone told me that the other day. So anyway, I've been watching more videos on Japan, and I watched one today, or yesterday. My friend, I don't know him, but his name is Adam Hatchett. I bought his Disney book, but he was last day of their cruise. They were on the new Disney Treasure. And I said, I want to go on a cruise. I don't care if it's Disney. I don't care if it's Carnival. I don't care. But Disney looks so interesting. These are two grown-up men that were together on their Disney cruise. And when they were passing to go from one spot to the next spot, they stopped because they've got a movie playing all the time on Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sitting there and they said, if we don't leave, we're not going to make we're not going to make the show. But he said, I like Disney movies.
Well, you can watch it on the big screen. And they also in the cabins have Disney movies you can select all the time too.
Yeah, I didn't know that one about them in the room, but they were on the big screen, and yeah. But I didn't know this. they had to pay for a few of their meals. I don't know if it's just like Carnival. You don't eat in their dining hall area. You had to pay for it. And I didn't realize they only ate in the buffet once. The rest of it, they were in they like the Three Caballeros restaurant and something else. I forget the name of the restaurants, but I said I thought that it would be a main dining. No, you have your bar, all you can eat, and the rest of them are specialty dining. I didn't realize that.
There's like a creators studio type thing where you're in there, you can draw little things, and then they'll put the little animation thing. There's like Paulo's, which is another one. There's several different ones, but I thought I watch a family. It's two dads and a daughter, and they just got back from a cruise. She's 13 now, so she did a lot of things on her own. But I thought the way they talked, everything was included. I didn't know.
I did too, but he was showing the price, and it had a price menu there. So I said, I didn't realize that.
I didn't know they had any special dining, but I don't look into the Disney because I know Disney cruises are expensive.
They're expensive, but if you catch a good sale, if you're free, if you're retired and you don't have any pets and you can just pick up and go at a whim, you can find some great deals. Well, I'm retired, but I have Candy who's right over there somewhere pouting. I don't know what she's pouting about, but anyway, I just can't pick up and go because the boarding place may not have an opening. And I don't want to just leave my dog all the time anymore. She's 12 years old. I'd rather be at home with her.
I know a year ago, January or February, my cousin and his wife, and my cousin is maybe 8 years younger than me, so he's in his early 50s. So my cousin and his wife took his dad and the dad's second wife on a Disney cruise to Progresso and Cozumel. So like his dad's like 80. Like, interesting to go on a Disney cruise. I forget what ship it was. They went out of New Orleans. And then when I was looking at, they went on a cruise just not too long ago. I see my uncle's name in there, but I didn't see his wife's name in there. And they went on a celebrity cruise, and I have no idea where they went. They didn't post a lot of pictures.
Right. But I'm gonna go back on a cruise one day, just taking time to figure it out, and it doesn't have to be a group cruise. It could be a non-group cruise. It doesn't have to be Helping Hands cruise. It could be just a cruise.
Just friends.
Yeah, I want to go with just friends, maybe. Also, I want to go to I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go to Paris, but I want to go to Disney. And if I decide to go out of the country somewhere, this is after Candy's probably not around, knock on wood, that she's going to be here a few more years, that I get in that country and I say, okay, I'm going to plan it where I can do stuff there and maybe take a cruise. I got friends in Singapore that have invited me to their house. Well, they live in a condo. They bought a condo, and they're actors. And I got to meet them a couple of years ago. They're the Ukuleleums. They're on Twitch.
Yeah, you mentioned them.
And they got Universal out there, and I said I wouldn't mind going out to go to Universal. Then I looked up; they do have a cruise port. And I said, I could do lots of stuff. Take a cruise, go to Universal, see them, play some arcade games, take a cruise. That would be wonderful. These are just my dreams. I put them out in the universe and talk about them so that that they'll come true one day, you know, or somebody might see it and say, I'm going, I need a roommate, you know. So, but on the 4th of April, I'm going 4th, 5th, and 6th, I think it is. I'm going to Stella Fest. It's a convention out in Decatur, Georgia. And it's a Star Trek, sci-fi, Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, all that kind of thing. It's going. They've got somebody that was a child actor in one of the movies that's going to be there, and I don't remember who it was. So that should be a fun weekend. And my friend called me the other day, yesterday, and while the guy was here doing the cabinet, and she's going with me, so I don't have to pay the Uber to go out there, $40 Uber. And she doesn't want any gas money because either way she's going. So, but I'll offer her gas money again this time if she'll take it. She only has to come a mile off the expressway to pick me up, so
That's not bad.
it's not bad. Mm-mm. Not like Ralphie, who had to come all the way from Oklahoma. Now, if we had planned it a little better, I probably could have went to the World of not World of Coca-Cola. They went to the aquarium. So they went to the aquarium and came back to Douglasville, and then we had to go back to Atlanta. And so he had to do that traffic twice. But the thing is, I had candy. I don't think candy's allowed in the aquarium.
Probably not.
Probably not. So
this didn't turn out half bad.
All right, you said it's got ground beef, pork.
I use the pork hocks, and I throw them in, and while I'm cooking the other stuff in there, they kind of cook, and then I take them out and I cut the meat off the bone.
Yeah.
Cut it up into little bits. Just extra flavor. I suppose if I didn't want to do that, I could just throw extra beef in there, just skip the pork.
And then you cook noodles. Sounds delicious.
Cook my spaghetti separately, and then I threw a little butter in with it when it was done, just to keep it from sticking. I had thrown some oil in, but it was still sticky bit, so I threw some butter in. But just so it wouldn't get into a clump before they came upstairs to get theirs. But
it sounds good.
I
haven't made a homemade spaghetti in a long time, but mine's usually just ground beef.
This is when I want to go all out and make it. A lot of times I call my poor man's spaghetti, which is I just take the can of whatever spaghetti sauce and I throw in ground beef in the pan, brown it up, throw spaghetti sauce in, throw maybe some mushrooms or some onions or whatever, peppers in them with
it. I have to watch the jarred spaghetti sauce because it's got things in it that don't agree with my stomach, like onions and things. So I had the cookbook, and I think I threw it away. Could kick myself for throwing it, or because it was tore up. But my mother gave it to me when I got married, and it was a Betty Crocker cookbook, and I don't think I have it anymore. I think since James died, I got to go into some of the things, you know, but it had Betty Crocker in there, had homemade spaghetti, and that's how I learned to make spaghetti. My mother had it, the book, and she bought me one, and that's what I use because I don't buy the package of spaghetti seasoning. I just use the oregano, basil, the spaghetti seasoning stuff that goes in it.
Yeah, this one had oregano, thyme. It has some chili powder. It has a little sage. It's some interesting. It has some oh, what is it? Hot sauce.
Yeah.
A little bottle of hot sauce, and it just went right out of my head. And a little Worcestershire sauce, and
Sounds like more like a bolognese than a spaghetti.
could be more. I don't know. It's just one that my grandmother got from a neighbor that passed to my mom, and then my mom made it all the time, and then I started making it. And when I started making it, when my oldest was younger and the picky eater, he wouldn't eat it. So he liked the canned. It was like this Hunt Stick and Rich sauce. There was
Yeah.
no lump. There was no lumps in it. He didn't
Yeah.
like the lump. Now he eats this kind. But
I think I would try it minus if you had onion in it, minus the onion or I don't know if it has it in there or not, but
it does. But
yeah. Yeah, I ate my Chinese food I bought the other day left over yesterday because he was here. Didn't want to be in his way and have something cooking while he's here. But I was eating my rice and I noticed when I first, I say no vegetables because I can't have the green peas and the corn that's in it. So I
right.
had to sit there and pick that all out. And knock on wood, I didn't have any trouble from eating it.
That's good.
So I must have got it all out, or my stomach was just in a good mood.
Decided not to give you a hard time.
Yeah. So anyway, but yours looks so yummy. It smells. You got smell-o-vision? Don't we wish we had smell-o-vision? My roast is smelling so good.
Even when I started cooking this, and my son came home from work, and he's like, it smells so good in here. It's like, it's only partially cooked so far. And the other funny part is my son's girlfriend is Italian.
Yeah?
But she was raised by her dad and with her brother, so she really doesn't cook. She's not a great cook. Sorry. Actually, she made a dish last night that was actually pretty good, but it was just rice and sausage and a bunch of things in the pot. It was like whatever, tasted pretty good, and I didn't have to cook. But now she doesn't cook a lot. I don't know whether growing up whether her dad cooked stuff or whatever, but she doesn't make any Italian, what I would call Italian dishes. So
Right. Well, when I first got married, I knew how to cook, but I didn't know how to cook. Because you're a kid, you watch your grandparents, your grandmothers, or your grandparents cook. You watch your mom cook, and you think, okay, I can do this. But really, were you paying were you paying attention, or was your mind on that boyfriend or your best friend down the street, or when can I go outside? Nowadays it's when can I get to the computer? So I noticed one night my husband, he left and he came back and he had McDonald's. I said, we just ate. No, I didn't realize he was picking at it because it wasn't good. So you got to either pay closer attention or it just takes practice.
I learned by watching my mom.
Yeah. After I got married, my grandmother taught me how to. I knew how to make her biscuits, but I didn't. She said, "Let me show you one more time and pay attention this time, and don't be such a wiggle worm." And I was 20 years old, So
I wish I learned from my great aunt how to make biscuits. She made the best biscuits I've ever tried.
Yeah, my grandmother had the best biscuits. We'd all go down there and Grandma, we walk in the door. The biscuits are in the stove, on the stove. She knew what we wanted. But one of my cousins was so picky. She didn't want grandmother's biscuits. She didn't want grandmother's fried chicken. She was so picky. So my mother made us eat something that was on that table. We didn't have to eat everything, but we had to eat something because she cooked the chicken, green beans, potatoes, whatever. And so I ate it, but my cousin, all she wanted was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
See, my mom raised me that way. I had to have a spoonful of everything that was on the table.
Yeah.
And there were like, I wasn't a fan of squash, and I ate squash. It was only one time I was at my aunt's, and my aunt made squash, and of course, I had mom's rules, gotta have a little bit of everything, and I had it on my plate, and I don't remember how old I was. Let's see. My cousin was 2, so I had to be. No, he might have been 1. So I had to have been 8 or 9, and I really didn't want to eat the squash. And I'm sitting there and I'm gagging. My mom's like, "You're gonna be sick," and I'm like, and I turned to go. She goes, "Go to the bathroom." I turned to go to the bathroom, and when I turned, I puked all over my cousin.
Maybe we would have got along better if I'd puked on her once, but no, I didn't do that.
After my cousin that just took his dad on the cruise. and the other thing was they were called Harvard beets, but it was like a pickled beet cube stuff in a can.
Yeah.
Did not like them, and I gagged on them every time she made them, and I had to have a spoonful, and it was like every time I started gagging on her, she goes, "You throw them up, I'll cook the other can." Learned to choke them down. That's when back then. That's one of the reasons I learned eat the stuff I don't like while it's hot, because it tastes a heck of a lot better hot than it does cold.
Yeah, but when food was put on the table at my mom's house, you had to either eat it or you didn't get it. I mean, she wasn't making special food. You ate something off the table or you went hungry. Because we couldn't afford to go and make a separate meal because you didn't want so and so. She just knew that if we didn't like something, that she always had something to go with it that she knew we would eat. And there wasn't much that I didn't like. I didn't like fruit. So she didn't force me to eat the fruit, because that wasn't really on the table with our meal. It was there if you wanted it, kind of thing.
I was never really a fan of Kraft mac and cheese as a kid. And I remember she made that once, and it was a side dish for something else. I ate everything else, but I hadn't eaten the mac and cheese. She made me sit there. You sit there until you eat it. And I sat there for like 2 hours, and it was like, if you're not gonna eat it, it's time for bed. She goes, "But it'll be there for breakfast." And I ate cold mac and cheese, and next time she served it, I made sure I ate it first, because it didn't taste so good cold.
No, I don't like the powdered mac and cheese. I don't care who makes it; they're all the same. So it doesn't. And then they started making the Velveeta one, which it was better. But I'd still rather grate up any kind of cheese you want, a little milk, and you can put butter if you want, and salt, and mix it in with your cooked macaroni. And it doesn't have to be macaroni noodles; it can be any kind of noodle.
Right. If I make homemade mac and cheese, it could be penne, it could be rotini, it could be macaroni, just whatever I have. But I made that mostly when my oldest was a picky eater, because he would eat that. That was one way to get some protein in, because he wouldn't eat meat other than chicken nuggets or a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah, my mom made good homemade macaroni and cheese. We went to my aunt's one time, and I said, "Didn't my mom bring macaroni and cheese?" Yeah, it's right there. I said, "This is brown on the top. Mom's never it's brown and put in the oven." Well, we warmed it up and we left it in too long. So, a lot of people like to brown it and it makes the sauce get thicker. I like a runny, loose. But we all ate it, but it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, my youngest likes me to put it in the oven, but when I make homemade, but I'm okay with eating it right out of the pot.
Yeah, I like it right out of the pot. And I know some people put eggs in their macaroni and cheese if they're going to bake it. I don't put eggs in it. We can't have eggs around my nephews. They'll be highly allergic. I brought an egg pie there, and he was helping me put it on the table. And just from touching the rim of the pie, because it was the meringue was a little droopy, you know, he had to take a Benadryl. So I didn't bring anything with eggs in it anymore to their house.
It's crazy.
Yeah, just from touching it. His brother outgrew it, but I don't know if my other nephew still is allergic or not. And hadn't seen him in about 8 months, so he's too busy with college. So, and then both of them were allergic to nuts, and so it was you would think what's it called, cashews. He was allergic to cashews. And most people are not allergic to cashews are grown on a tree, on a plant. They're not under the ground like peanuts. So we just have to watch what we have in our house when I go to theirs. Now she does make deviled eggs, but he doesn't touch them.
Well, my cousin, when it usually goes up to Nunavut, but she was allergic to peanuts and tree nuts, except for almonds. She can have almonds. She can't eat like peanuts, but she can eat the peanut butter because it's something in the process. She's okay with it. The peanut butter is but like walnuts or other nuts like that, she'll go into an asthma attack. So when I grew up and doing any baking, all these recipes that called for nuts, so I just left nuts out.
Yep. My mom used to make fudge, and she knew I didn't like pecans or walnuts, but she would take and pour half of it up and then plain, and then put the other half with the nuts in it for those that wanted it. So you can always leave out what you don't like with some things.
I've just been lucky. Like the only thing, in high school, I started getting like an intolerance to dairy. I could eat it. It's hit or miss whether it's gonna give me gas and bloating and everything that goes with that.
Right.
And then later in life, the gluten. So I eat it in moderation. Tonight I had spaghetti, which wasn't gluten-free spaghetti because I wasn't paying $3.50 for a small box of spaghetti when I could get a big package of regular pasta for, I think it was $2.
Yeah. So, but I think next week on my Wednesdays, I think I'm going to start doing some non-copyrighted music, and we can do some little dancing. I got to get some exercise going again. So I'm just, I could do my ukulele songs. They make theirs up. They write their own, but they also sing popular, like they sing Elvis. They sing Neil Diamond, all these things. But then they change some of the wording. So I don't know if I get copyrighted on theirs or not, but I just thought, let's just start maybe walking in place or sitting here and moving our arms because I've gained 10 pounds and I still wear the same clothes that I did when I was on the cruise. But I can't go up. I need to go back down. So I thought on Wednesdays we'll spend time talking and instead of me sitting here on my butt, I'm gonna be standing up moving.
You're moving and grooving.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go on my phone and find non-copyrighted music, and whatever pops up, we'll if it's slow or fast or whatever, we'll do. I was got a notice from is it TikTok? I think it was TikTok, and I accidentally, after I watched it, I clicked the next thing, and this couple came up, and they're from Portugal, but they originally she's from America, he's Portugal, but he looks American. But they were singing together, and I said, I can't play their music, but I said I can play non-copyrighted and we can dance to it. They were fantastic singers. So I want to find something that will get me going again because I cannot, Now I could do it on what you're doing. On my Friday taste test. But I'm taste testing on Friday. And I'm hoping Friday I'll make that cheesecake. If not, I'll make it and taste it on Fridays. Because I don't know how long it's going to take to cook it. So I'm going to have to just Google it and figure that out. But my Monday Minecraft it's doing okay. I've had 4 or 5 viewers on that. So, and my taste test Friday, I think it's going to be when I'm going to do it once a month, give away something. I tried last Monday. This Monday, nobody replied to it. It's either don't watch my whole thing, or I may just need to make a video and put it out there and say, comment on this video, and you'll be in a drawing for the Helen magnet I'm going to do. So I may just have to do that as one of my shorts.
Maybe.
And I put out my first video for Helen. My friend Dan came on last night, and we could not figure out why when I plugged my phone up, it still won't download the pictures. But he showed me where to go to my what's it called? S24 Ultra Samsung. Show me how to get there. You go there, and then you go to this other place, and you click it. And I have to download them manually. So, but I've got a folder now with Helen pictures in it. So I got my first video out this morning, and I called it Candy Goes to Helen.
I seen it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
The Candy Goes to Helen.
Well, I went to bed and let it do its thing last night, so it would come out at 8:00 this morning. And I didn't like the video picture, so I said, let me see if there's one with Candy, because it's about Candy going to Helen. You get 3 choices, and so none of those were Candy. And so I went back and looked in my video, in my pictures, and all the pictures are too big. So I said, oh well. So I finally chose the third one, which was Billy J, and I think his name is Steve. He's the guy that sings when we go to Helen. He wrote that song about Helen. So I left that one up there, but I wish it was Candy, because I put the one on Candy sitting here getting her beauty sleep to start with. I already put that one out, but I added it to that one. So,
but yeah, I hate what sometimes the thumbnails, and you try to pick an automatic thing, and it gives you 3 choices that have nothing to do with.
It's all Helen, but it's nothing to do with the title. So I said I could go back and change it, just take out Candy Goes to Helen, and just write Helen trip, and it wouldn't matter. But
Or did you see Candy and Helen? Or can you find Candy and Helen?
yeah,
I'd
I
have
could
to
change
look.
it to something like that. That might fit.
They'll have to look through the movie or the video to find her.
Yeah, and when I put Candy in the title, or when I put Candy's picture up there in my shorts, I get 550 or 600, up to about 600 views. So Candy's popular. But when I do just some other kind of stuff, it might get 20 or 30 views. So I don't know how many it's gotten. The one I put out this morning's got, let's see. The one I put out this morning has got, refresh the page. It's got 6 views. So
yeah. Mine have been all over the place, but I did get some in the recent videos that are hitting 400 or 500. But then I have other ones like 20, 40, 13. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I right now it's more of a video dump of other video shorts I had that I haven't put out. So I need to do some content, but I have to wait till after next Tuesday and I get that.
Well, I put out one I put out a new one last week, and it was about and you can't really see the goats that well, but it's my neighbor has goats. I've got over 500 hits on a goat video. I said I need to do a couple of times a week. Just turn my camera over there and just take the pictures of the goats and the dog that's in the backyard.
What are the goats doing today?
Yeah. And
I thought goat yoga?
Yeah, I thought we couldn't have goats in the neighborhood, but evidently the policy or the ordinance has changed. But they've got I know that they got 2 new goats. They either got 4 or 5. I have, because they're kind of hard to count sometimes the way they're, and hard to see. So I think they got 4 goats and a dog back there.
It'll be the livestock guardian dog.
So
watching out for the goats.
Yep. So I'm going to do another goat picture probably tomorrow. Go out there in a little bit and take a picture of the goats.
Well, then maybe the weather stays nice. Kelly and I can go for a walk and check something out. It's not too far away.
We've had wonderful, beautiful weather today.
Oh, it's gorgeous today. I don't know what it got up to. It's got to be well over 60.
Yeah, I got
the front window open. I got the back screen door, well, inside door, because I don't want the animals trying to go through the screen. But got a gap about that wide, but the air is blowing through, so it's been nice.
I must see what the temperature is.
Except when I was trying to sweep up dog and cat hair, and then the breeze came in the window, it was blowing across the floor like little dust bunnies.
Yeah, it's 77 here in the U.S. today. So I went out now. I carried my sweater, but I didn't even get it out of the car. It was so warm.
I wore my hoodie to walk down to the grocery store. I was pretty warm by the time I got home.
Yeah, and I wore my Cozumel shirt.
Nice.
But I wore it a couple of times, but the sleeves have gotten a little tight, but not that tight. But I like them looser than what they are. So someone said, well, cut the underarm a little bit, snip the seam. Nobody's going to notice it. I said, yeah, but what if it starts raveling? I don't know about t-shirt material.
I'm wearing my Lake of Dreams campground, which is where the Michigan meetups are held, with where Troy and Sandy have their trailer.
Right.
It's got a little thing on the front, and then it's got the whole big thing on the back.
Wow.
But the t-shirts are really soft. And I think it was it $10 for the t-shirt? And I think Steve got a hoodie, like a plus size hoodie, and I think he paid $33 for it. I wanted to get a shirt last year, but I was saving my American money for the cruise. So
Yeah.
maybe this year I'll get another t-shirt or a hoodie. Not like I need a lot of hoodies. I've got 4 or 5 of them. Got my doTERRA one. I got 2 cruise ones. I got a light blue one. I guess I got 4. Because I got rid of my gray one because the zipper broke. On my Tommy Hilfiger knockoff one.
Yeah, I was watching the Crazy Pieces yesterday, and they were shopping to get a souvenir, and of course they had to bring back an elephant that was too huge. But Bella bought her shirt, and she said, "I want it, Mom." She said, "Get it." She said, "It shouldn't be expensive." So she Googled how much it would be. She said, "It only comes out to $7 for a Spider-Man shirt," which that's a bargain. Because here in the U.S., unless you're on a clearance rack, you're going to pay probably $15 to $20 for a Spider-Man shirt.
Well, I know when I went on the first cruise, when I was in Aruba, the t-shirt I bought in Aruba, and it was a nice t-shirt, I only paid $6 for.
Yeah.
And I think I only paid along 10 or 12 for my one in Bonaire, and it has embroidery on the front. And I didn't buy any in the Dominican because they wanted $25, $27, $30 for a t-shirt. And I was able to go back on the ship when they had the sales like we went to.
Yeah.
I got a Amber Cove and a La Romana one on the ship, 2 for $22, I think it was at the time. This has Carnival on it, but it says those ports, so it's like it's okay with me if it says those ports and has Carnival on it.
Yeah. If you play it smart on Carnival and you go and get the coupon booklet, they don't have that coupon booklet out every day. It's the first day, I think, of the selling, or maybe the second day. You get the coupon booklet, and you can get usually sometime during the cruise, they're going to have a 2 or 3 for so many t-shirts, and then with the coupon you're going to get it cheaper. So I don't remember what we paid. They were 2 or 3 for so much. I don't remember.
I forget because I know I got a better deal on this one than I did the first time.
And then when we went out, this one says Cozumel. I think I bought it in actual Cozumel, but they were 2 for something, because I know I bought my grandson one, or 3 for something. So when you get those kind of deals, it's not really that bad of a price compared to sometimes the U.S.
No, there was like 3 for $15 or 17 or $20 or something like that. And it's like,
Yeah, there were 3 for almost 20, I want to think.
I didn't buy any t-shirts in the ports. I bought them on the ship. But I bought the...
No, because you couldn't. The one you wanted, they didn't have. The one we saw, you didn't like it, or they didn't have your size. I can't remember.
I didn't like the ones that were in the bargain for the...
Right.
The ones I seen that I liked were... I don't know if anybody's ever watched the kids movie Coco, and it's the animals, I forget, that are in the Day of the Dead part. The animals are like bright colored dots. The ones that were like that I liked, but those weren't on. I just need the budget better this time I go to Mexico.
Yeah.
But I did get the blanket for $6.
Saving money to buy stuff.
I got the blanket for $6. We got some stuff at the pharmacy for a good deal. I did get magnets.
Right.
Which is kind of my collection thing.
Yeah, I've got a lot of magnets. some people like to collect pins. I saw several pins, but I'm not a pin. You have to have a pin board, to pin them to. Magnets I can throw all over my refrigerator, front, back, and side, not the back, but the front, two sides of the front.
Yep.
So, but there are some of there that I don't want to throw away, but I need to rearrange, like our news channel. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from our news channel. They used to send them in the mail to you if you were a Loyalty fan, because they used to have open house and you could go down to the news station, But then I've got credit cards, fake credit card ones and stuff. So I need to rearrange those, or maybe take some to my other refrigerator and make room for the newer ones. Because my refrigerator is full. So
That's what I have on the fridge. Magnets there, a lot of them are. Well, there's one from I think it's the gas company or something, and it has like the advertisement for that. But across the top, it has like a thermometer strip, so you can look on the thermometer and see what the temperature is in the kitchen. And then
you can hear Serene because the phone's on the other side of the room. Sorry, y'all hearing that.
It's okay. I had the one, the dog's vet one up there. I have the computer guy that we've used, that one up there. I have one I got from one of the kids for Christmas that says because
here's
on the mom or something.
Right. The phone was closer than I thought, but probably spam call. I wasn't a millions again, so yeah.
I just got some magnetic whiteboards from the dollar store that I've got upstairs that have. One's got my first cruise plus my Cuba one and a couple other magnets, and then the other one's got the last cruise and plus a couple other ones, and then the third one that I just got that I'm using when our time comes up on match game, so I have a whiteboard.
Oh yeah, so you got you another whiteboard?
Yep. Well, I had got the one, and I go home and it was crappy for writing on, and it wasn't magnetic. And so that's what I get for getting a cheaper one instead of spending $2 more and getting the other one. It was actually magnetic, so.
Yeah, I've got some that are magnetic squares that I can hang on my refrigerator. I just got to get another white thing to write on it with.
So the third one I got, I've got magnets from a few different channels. Look, that's my channel board.
Yeah.
What you doing, Callie?
We've been on an hour. So unless somebody in the audience or out there wants to say something, we're going to get off, and we'll see y'all on Friday. I'm going to try to have cheesecake made from Germany. I've never used the package. I bought cheesecake pudding. They had that for a while in the U.S., and I used it from a recipe. Don't even remember what it was, but you put less milk in it and you make like a pie. But this is a Germany package. So I'm going to try to attempt that on Friday and have it ready, because it probably takes 30-40 minutes to cook. Because I'm 99% sure I don't just add milk and make a pudding with it. Because it had eggs, but I don't know how to do the eggs. So everyone, thanks for coming. We'll see y'all on the next one. Bye. 6 o'clock Friday.